Natya Shastra is far more than a manual of a drama and a dance or a music. It is a profound document that reflects the depth, sophistication, and scientific maturity of ancient Indian civilization. Every chapter demonstrates that Bharatavarsha possessed an advanced understanding of psychology, architecture, aesthetics, acoustics, social science, philosophy, ritual science thousands of years ago. The detailed knowledge of which found in Natya Shastra, which are never touched, are stage architecture and acoustics, geometry and measurement systems, psychological analysis of emotions, body kinetics and physiology, musical, acoustic and rhythm mathematics, regional cultures, dialects and social anthropology, ritual science and philosophical foundation. It clearly reveals that the civilization which profound or produced this text was highly systematized, multidisciplinary, technologically insightful, and culturally refined. This, the precision of its concept shows that ancient India was not only a spiritually evolved but also scientifically and artistically advanced. One of the most remarkable features of the Natya Shastra is its openness for the innovations and openness towards the creation. Unlike the many perspective treatises, Bharata Muni repeatedly emphasized that art must be evolved with the society. He acknowledges three types of authorities, that is the Veda Pramana, the Adhyatma Pramana, and the Loka Pramana, the spiritual and Veda Pramanas and the Loka Pramana observation of the world. Bharata clearly states in every chapter, you can see the Loka Pramana, empirical society reality, which is most essential as a part of the Natya. Art must mirror the world, and therefore society itself becomes a guiding pramana. Most importantly, he gives explicitly permission for the creative and innovation, because people say the texts are dead gurus. They are not dead gurus. Because one of the shlok which I remember, Akrutya Cheshtaya Chinnai Jatya Vigyaya Vasuta Swayam Vitarka Kartavya Nrutyabhinayanam Prati Hastabhinayanam Prati Angabhinayanam Prati, which says that you can create. If you don't find anything in my text, you can create by looking at the form, by looking at the movement, by looking at the symbols, by looking at the ethical traits, by looking at the Kalavarta, by looking at the plot of the story of your presentation, and create your own hands, create your movements, create your vachika, whatever you want to create. So this is an extraordinary where it transforms that Natya Shastra from a closed rule book into a living, evolving Sanatan text capable of adapting to time, geography, and new artistic realities. Thus, Natya becomes all inclusive, capable of portraying anything that exists in this world. Another, because Bharata allows this innovation based on the Loka Pramanas, and because he acknowledges the Adhyatma and Loka and Veda Pramanas, and because the work integrates ritual, philosophy, art, and social life, the Natya Shastra becomes a Sanatan text, a timeless, dynamic, and ever relevant text for India. Its vision is not limited to one era or one community. It is built up on the principle that human experience changes, so artistic expression must also evolve. That is why Indian performing arts never become stagnant. They grew through regional varieties or variations from folk to tribal tradition, from temple tradition and courtly innovations. Yet all remain within the broad framework of that Bharat envisioned. Another crucial aspect is that the Natya Shastra is composed in a sutra-like style, concise, dense, and often symbolic. Such a style demands interpretations. And this is why many great thinkers like Abhinav Gupta, etc., wrote extensive commentaries on this. And this commentaries simply explains, especially Abhinav Gupta's, Kashmir Shaivism, aesthetics, linguistics, psychology in the Abhinav Bharati. And it decodes Bharata's true sutras. Even today, what we need, more commentaries, more Indian framework of analysis, and deeper exploration of Natya from perspective rooted in Indian aesthetic, Indian psychology, Indian philosophy, Indian anthropology and culture. And such inquiry keeps the Natya Shastra alive and allow it to continue guiding this modern performing art. This was my first phase. My second phase is going to talk about the scientific and holistic dimension chapter wise. I will not try and touch all the chapters, but the first chapter, which talks about the Vedic origin, gives the Vedic impact, social science, psychology, and more philosophy. Chapter 1, where women empowerment are mentioned by creating, Brahma has created apsaras for the performance of women. And both women and men and women were given the equal position in drama. That was the first point. Second point, where the gods are, the same first chapter where gods are telling that we are unable to perform because we are not the Jitendriyas. It means the artists are equivalent to the Rishimunis and equivalent to these. The position of the artist was given the highest position like a Rishi Tulya. So these are the psychological and philosophical points which needs that next generation needs to bring this in front from the chapters of Natya Shastra. Second chapter, which talks about the construction stages and architectural sciences, where the architecture, geometry, geography, measurement science and ritual studies are very dominantly presented. The third one, puja, rituals and Brahminic foundations, gives us the psyche of sacredness, cultural and anthropology. The fourth chapter, which is talking about the relation of dance with sculpture and architecture, art integration, iconography, geometry and temple art forms. The fifth gives us the Nritya and Nritya techniques, biomatics, physiology and kinetics. Of course, the sixth chapter, which talks about the rasa. Seventh is talk about the bhava, which are the psychology, emotional cognition and neuroaesthetics. Very, very important. A person needs to understand that all these chapters talks about the real person, human's personality. I'll go further in the chapter number 8 to 13, which talks about Angik Abhinay. Now, many people saying Angik Abhinay means the body kinetics, physical fitness, or the aesthetic color science, symbolic anthropology, but it's beyond that. All the Viniyogas, one of the shlok I will quote it, Maunam, Kala Vilambascha, Prayanam, Bhumi Darshanam, Bhukuti, Anyamukhi Vartam, Nakaram, Shadvidam, Smrutam. See, there are 6 types of 9 to say no. So your body is, Maunam means if you keep quiet, person understand that he is trying to say no. Maunam, Kala Vilambascha, time pass. So your body language, once you know this Angika Abhinaya of the Natya Shastra, you can read the person in and out. Because his sitting position, whether he is interested in looking at your program or not, you will understand by sitting posture. His hand gestures, his eyes, his movement, everything reflects your psychology. Antargata vikarasya bahya prakatikaranam anga vikshepaha. Aapke man mein, whatever is in your mind is expressed through the movement. So what is anga vikshep? What is the movement? It is an external manifestation of internal feeling. That is what Angika Abhinay teaches you. Then comes the next chapters on the Sangeet, music, meter, maths. Of course, that is the mathematics, Ayurveda, and of A, A, E, E, K, K, G, G. How to pronounce? The people don't know this. And this is where people, various therapies are developed through Natya Shastra. The scientific therapies I'm talking about. Because our Shiro Vedas are very good for spondylitis, our Drushti Bodhas are very good for the eyeball activities. Then comes is the Gati, chapter number, types of plays, social anthropology, then grammar of language, poetics, linguistic, and many, many, many other dance choreography, instrumental music, material science, auditory psychology, etc. are also part of this. What, instead of going into the depth of these each chapter, what I feel is this monumental text is not only the foundation of Indian performing art, but also a profound civilization and philosophical system, Indian philosophical system, and our cultural ethos. In recent years, a growing concern has emerged regarding the accuracy and cultural sensitivity of several modern translations of Natya Shastra. Many translations shared by external lenses do not fully align with the Indian tradition, practices, and worldviews. This has resulted into the distortions and misconceptions, and I was the first one a target for that. One of the striking example was Samanya Abhinay, a 22nd chapter of Natya Shastra, where the description of various Sheelas, Sheela means a character, human, female characters, are mistranslated or misinterpreted. In some of the various, they are presented as the black spots, and women are portrayed as a mere sambhoga vastu, or reducing them to the object of pleasure is a translation. This insinuation not only misrepresents the intent of the original text, but also project an untrue image of Indian scriptures. Further, another misconception is that Natya Shastra is about Rasa Nishpatti or Karanas. Beyond that, Natya Shastra doesn't have anything. Indeed, the Rasa Nishpatti or a Rasa theory is a jewel of the text. It's only one part of much larger universe of the knowledge. But every chapter of the Natya Shastra stands as an independent knowledge system. One of my Subhashit I remember, Amantram Aksharam Nasti Nasti Mulanam Anaushadam. Not a one word in Sanskrit treatise are not like a mantra. Ayogya Purusha Nasti Yojakas Tatra Durlavaha. There is not a single man who is ayogya, who is not useful, he is not useless. The one who wants to make them useful are very rare in the world. So that is why the Natya Shastra is not just a Saundarya Shastra, it is a multidisciplinary codex encompassing philosophy, sociology, ritual studies, psychology, architecture, ethics, and many of the my lectures you will find that every chapter wise the scientific reason and scientific elements are produced. So what we need today is that Natya Shastra needs to be essentially shared and introduced at the school and college level. So NCERT has come out with the school books, art books, where from 3rd standard to 12th standard, where Natya Shastra has been introduced because I'm the chairing the art books. We have introduced it from the 3rd standard onwards, Natya Shastra and all other texts related to Indian art forms. So please spread the word all over to introduce this. And in conclusion, today as India rises on the global cultural stage, reclaiming and reinterpreting our classical texts becomes a collective responsibility. Natya Shastra is not merely an ancient document, it is a living guide, a knowledge framework, and a testament to India's profound understanding of art and life. So let us come together towards the establishing authentic translations rooted in our own tradition, and let us educate our students about the intellectual brilliance of Bharata Muni, and let us ensure that the wisdom of Natya Shastra continues to illuminate future generation. Thank you. Jai Hind.